I'm going to be remaking Minecraft mobs into 99 Nights in the Forest. The first mob I'll make is the owl, and I'm going to use a chicken to make him, because a chicken is almost the same thing as an owl. Let's get rid of some of the things we don't need, and I'm gonna move his body up because he needs to be a lot bigger than this. Now let's give him some new legs, and we'll copy this leg over to the other side. Next I'm gonna give him a new body, and let's change the shape of his head. Next I'm gonna start to give him some wings, and I'll give him a hand like this, and I think this is looking good. It's time for us to add some color. First we'll color his body entirely gray. Next I'm gonna make his legs a little bit darker. Now let's add some dark spots on his feathers, and I'll color his beak orange. Now let's draw his scary mouth, and we'll color in his eyes. Now let's add a bit more detail, and I think this is looking good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how the owl looks in the game. I won't lie, the face looks kinda messed up. His face still looks creepy, but it definitely doesn't look like an owl. His beak looks kinda like his nose, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, I think the rest of the owl looks really good. I probably should have made his wings move a bit though. The owl is hostile just like it is in the real game, and if you start moving near it, it will start chasing you. The only way to stop the owl from chasing you is by standing completely still or by standing near a campfire. Also, just like in 99 Nights in the Forest, the owl is completely immune from damage by weapons. Instead, you are going to have to kill the owl using fire, which isn't part of the real game, but he would be too OP if he was unkillable. If you do manage to kill the owl, he has a chance of dropping a feather, but there are some times where you might just get nothing. And overall, I think the owl turned out really good, but there are a few things wrong with him, specifically his face. So because of this, I decided to give the owl an 8 out of 10. Next, I am going to make a cultist, and I'm going to use a villager to make him. First, let's get rid of the stuff we don't need. Next, we're going to give him some Roblox-sized arms, and we'll make his legs bigger to match this size as well. Now let's copy this to the other side, and we're going to make his head a bit smaller. Now let's turn these pieces into his mask, and we're going to add the deer antlers on his head, and let's just copy this over to the other side. Alright, I think this is looking good. It's time to add color. First, we'll color his coat dark gray, and we're going to make his shirt a lighter gray. Next, I'm going to color in his pants, and we'll give him some shoes like this. Next, I'm going to color in his head yellow, and we'll color in his mask like this. Now let's give him some eyes, and we'll color his antlers dark gray. Next, I'm going to add a bit more detail to his coat, and we'll add more detail on the sides. Okay, I think this looks good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how the cultist looks in the game. As you can see, he looks pretty accurate to the actual game. The mask he's wearing looks a little bit different to the one in the real game, but other than that, he looks pretty much the same, which is good because that's how it's supposed to be. We don't want the mobs to look different than they do in the real game. Cultists can be found in abandoned villages, but if you go near them, they won't attack you unless you attack them. This is because they're usually found in raids, so if they aren't doing a raid, they're just chilling. Unlike actual villagers though, you cannot trade with the cultists. I just want to make that clear. If you do get into a fight with one of them though, they barely do any damage because melee cultists don't do too much damage in the actual game either, and you are also able to kill them with weapons, unlike the owl. So dealing with these guys should be pretty easy. If you do kill a cultist, they drop a stone axe because that is the weapon that they are using. You can't see the stone axe, but it is there. Trust me. Overall, I think the cultist turned out pretty good. He looks really accurate to the game. So because of this, I decided to give him a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 if the mask was the same. Next, I am going to make an elite alien, and I am going to use a vindicator to make him because they kind of look the same. First, we'll get rid of the extra set of arms. Now let's change the shape of his legs, and we'll change the shape of his body. Next, I'm going to change the size of his arms as well, and we'll move and change the size of his nose. Now let's change the shape of his head, and we'll give him a sword in his hand like this. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good. It's time to add some color. Let's remove his eyes and use his eyebrows as eyes instead, and we'll make the eyes a little bit bigger. Next, I'm going to give him a mouth. Now let's color his shirt entirely blue, and I'm going to color his pants a dark greenish color. Next, let's add some detail to his shirt, and I'm going to add this thing on his pants. Now finally, let's color in his sword, and I think this is looking pretty good. Let's see him in the game. This is how the elite alien looks in the game. I will not lie, his face looks kind of weird. It looks like a cross between Shrek and an alien. I think the nose is throwing it off. Other than that, he does look really good though, except for this one spot on his arm not having any texture. Not really sure how that happened. Anyways, if you do find an elite alien running around in your world, it will attack you. And I did make it do a little bit more damage than a regular mob because it says that elite aliens are a lot more powerful than regular aliens. I also gave him slightly more health for this reason as well. He's still not that big of a threat though. It only takes 2 hits to kill him with a netherite sword, but be careful because he could start flying back up to space. I don't know why you would have to be careful of that happening because it doesn't do anything to you. I just wanted to show the alien flying back up to space. If you kill an elite alien, he drops a diamond sword which is supposed to be a laser sword, so let's just pretend it's a laser sword. And overall, I think the elite alien turned out decent, but there is definitely something wrong with his face. So because of this, I decided to give him a 7 out of 10. The next mob we'll make is an alpha wolf, and we are obviously going to use a wolf to make him. I don't really think we need to change much on his body, but let's just make this part a little bit bigger. Next, I'm gonna move his head like this, and we'll change the position of his mouth. Next, I'm gonna give him some big teeth, and we'll add some pointy ears, and I think this looks good. Let's color him in. First, we'll color the top of his body dark brown, and we'll color the bottom parts a bit lighter. Next, I'm gonna color his teeth bright white, and we'll color his mouth pink. Now let's give him some bright red eyes, and we'll give him some angry eyebrows. Now let's give him a big nose, and we'll color this nose in dark black. And I think this is looking pretty good. It's time to add him to the game. This is how the alpha wolf looks in the game. He looks kind of like a regular wolf, except more scary. That is literally what it's supposed to look like though, so that's a good thing. I don't really see anything wrong with this wolf either, so that's good. I finally made a mob that doesn't have any random mistakes. If you go close to an alpha wolf, it will attack you just like any other Minecraft mob, but just like in 99 Nights in the Forest, you are able to get away from them by going near a campfire. You can also kill the wolf with any weapon you want, but you have to be careful because the alpha wolf does a lot more damage than a regular wolf, which makes sense because it's an alpha wolf, so it does alpha damage. You also can't tame one of these wolves, unlike the actual Minecraft wolf, which means the only real use they have is dropping a piece of steak or a piece of leather, because that is what they drop in the actual game. I find it kind of weird that wolves drop steak, but whatever. Anyways, I definitely think the alpha wolf turned out pretty good, as there are no mistakes on him at all. So because of this, I'm going to give the alpha wolf a 10 out of 10. Next, we are going to make the deer, and I'm going to use a creaking to make him. First, let's get rid of some of the stuff we don't need. Next, I'm going to change the shape of his body. Now let's make his head a little bit wider, and I'm going to give him some new arms. Next, I'm going to give him new legs as well, and we'll turn this part into his mouth. Next, I'm going to make this piece into his ears. And finally, we'll give him some antlers. Alright, I think this is pretty good. It's time to add color. First, I'll color his entire body brown. Now let's color his mouth light brown. Next, I'm going to color in his eyes. I'll also color in his ears. Now let's color his antlers slightly darker, and we'll do the same for his hands and feet. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how the deer looks in game. As you can see, he looks kind of scary. He also kind of looks like Ghostface a little bit, but I still think he turned out pretty good. The deer isn't a threat to you if you find him during the daytime, but at night you should definitely avoid running into him. If he finds you at night, he will chase you super fast, and if he manages to hit you with no armor, you will get insta-killed. The only way to stop the deer from attacking you at night is by being near a campfire or using another source of light to protect yourself from him. Just like in the Roblox game, you also aren't able to attack him with any weapons. The only way to kill him is by using some kind of light source that does damage, like lava. If you do manage to kill the deer, he drops a piece of deer meat. I probably wouldn't eat that though. We don't know where this guy's been. Overall, I think the deer turned out pretty good. He looks almost the same as the original, so because of this, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10.